And we're back after another victory for AGT. Julius, they are on match point and they are looking fantastic with this momentum in the series right now. 100 Thieves Academy have not had the answer to the Kiel Udyr pick, and also it just feels like AGT are playing so much more proactively in these games. They're setting up for objectives and then they're executing on those plays.
Yeah, I mean, it's every game, 100 Thieves is just giving the first two dragons, and it's starting to burn them. You saw in that last game, the third dragon, Jimmy and Diet, they're on soul point once again. AGT just keeps getting these dragons, so I think 100 Thieves really needs to change their priorities in the early game.
Early game priorities is one thing, but you also got to give credit to Captain Shrimps on that Corki, playing some of those fights in the later game beautifully, using the package to not necessarily engage or like get a bunch of damage, but just split fights. The Corki was so crucial in both of the final scraps that we saw before the end of that. So I just want to give props to Captain Shrimps for having a very solid performance in game 3. But with that said, Pick and Ban is around the corner here shortly. But while we're waiting for game 4 and possibly the last of the day to get underway, we're going to play a little game here. We've actually tried this one already in the past, so this is a return now of Armchair Analyst. I have the pleasure of having Julius, ex-collegiate player, also coach for League of Legends on the amateur side of things. So I get to pick your brain on key moments, or rather one key moment from that last game, and get your perspective from each team's POV and what decisions they could have done. So we're going to go back to something you had said. The third dragon, a pivotal moment. You had even hinted at it. 100 Thieves Academy need to contest for those third dragons if they're going to leave the first two free. So let's take a look. And I want you to walk me through that from 100 Thieves Academy's perspective to start off.
Okay. Yeah, so you can see right now, 100 Thieves, very important thing for dragons at professional and academy level as well is getting first setup, making them walk into you. You don't want to be AGT and walk into Corki Rockets. But AGT has that Rift Herald, and if you can pause right here for 1 second, you can see this Rift Herald makes 100 Thieves make a decision. Who's killing the Rift Herald, who's holding the dragon. And if you want to go back a little bit, or at least pause here, you can see that Jimian goes to hold the Rift Herald in mid. Because Jimian holds Rift Herald in mid, the rest of 100 Thieves, they're trying to maintain dragon control so that AGT is not just walking in, Corki's throwing rockets. But that leaves Jimian on an island, and he gets a little antsy looking for the flank. He's playing Yone, that champ wants to be coming from the side, wants to be coming from an angle. But Kiel is sitting there waiting for him to look to go too far forward, same with Lixie. And you can play the clip from here because what ends up happening is Jimian's fishing for the flank, and Kiel just starts running at him. Lixie realizes, oh, Yone pressed E. Yone's right here, he can't dodge my arrow. Jimian gets marked, he dies here, and now 100 Thieves, they can't contest the dragon. AGT has package, they're up numbers.
He sees Wixie, the AD carry, the person that Yone ideally would want to go for the assassination on, but the fact that Kiel just staying on top of him the whole time, Jimian could not get in to that fight, and it cost them big. Now we're going to go through the same play again. But walk you through the rest of 100 Thieves. What else is going on in this play? Because Jimian's perspective, obviously, we saw a little bit of a misposition. What's everybody else doing here?
Yeah, so if you can pause right here, what you can see is 100 Thieves is saying, okay, one person deal with the Rift Herald, the rest of us will hold Dragon, we'll make sure that, you know, we're not walking to them. But they have to get Jimian back into this fight somehow. And that's the big issue that they have. And if you realize, 100 Thieves, they're question picking bot side, they don't know where Moose Hater is. Moose Hater's hiding in that bot side, he starts pushing 100 Thieves back up the river. They don't really have an entry because they're getting forced up towards mid lane, up towards the blue buff, and out of the river, and they're scared of Corki coming in with package, coming in with Corki Rock, and poking them out. So it becomes a really difficult situation, and this all stems from AGT dropping that Rift Herald on mid lane, and saying, alright 100 Thieves, you're going to lose your mid tier 1, or you're going to have to sensibly deal with this Rift Herald, and we'll find a way to the river because we want this third dragon, we want to get the soul point.
Let's take a look at that. Let's click play here and watch when Moose Hater is spotted, because they do have a ward in that bottom brush in the river, I believe. Oh, actually, no, it doesn't look like they do here. So, okay, no, now Busio drops it down. They see Moose Hater come up. Everybody from 100 Thieves, they start walking bot. They see Moose Hater alone, but that's the same moment that Jimian gets caught out.
Exactly, and when they walk down like that, Jimian's on an island. He has to look for some sort of hero 5-man Yone ulti if he wants to connect to his teammates. That's the term that you hear a lot of people using, is connect, meaning, okay, I'm by myself, how do I get to the rest of my team? And when they walk that far away from Jimian, he can't connect to his team. AGT realized that, and immediately you see Kill starts running at him. Wixie throws the ulti.
They didn't even need to use the Corki package to
Yeah,
pull that
they did
off.
not need the
It
Corki
felt like 100
package.
Thieves Academy, they were playing checkers while AGT were playing chess. Obviously, having the Herald advantage for those dragons is massive. I can even go back. We could have started that before the Herald pickup, saying, okay, 100 Thieves Academy maybe should have given more priority to that one as well. But the fact that AGT had so many tools in their pocket, the Fiora flank, the Corki package, the Herald pushing mid, and at the end of the day, only one of those things really mattered in that moment. They still had the other two. But now we're going to go through the same play, the same moment, and walk through the AGT perspective and see how they set this up. Because obviously, we know how it worked out from 100 Thieves side, but it's interesting to see what the vision was like for AGT and how they walked into the area and kind of see the decisions being made. So let's roll it and walk me through this, Julius. Who's another player on AGT that we should be focusing on?
So the two people we look at here are Keel and Moose Hater. Keel because he's the only person that can really walk forward on AGT. He's the Udyr, super tanky, running in, trying to create space for his team. And if you can pause right here,
this is blind. They don't have vision.
They're in the river. Keel's done his job, right? 100 Thieves, they let them walk through that little choke that you see Duo King standing in right now, and that's AGT's way to get into the river. And you can see Wixie's already looking at Jimmy and with how he's positioned. You can see he's saying like, yo, look at this Yone. He's kind of alone from the rest of his team. Keel is sitting on that pixel brush, clearing that ward, and he's saying like, okay, 100 Thieves, you have to walk through me. So AGT's found themselves in a really good position to enter this dragon. Even though 100 Thieves, you know, they were first there, they had 5 people there. Jimmy separates from separates from his team to go deal with that Rift Herald, and now AGT has control of the river. And you can play the rest of the clip from here and watch how Keel and Wixie react to Jimmy and what Jimmy's doing. Because Keel realizes here, oh, all I have to do is stop this Yone from finding a way into the fight. And he sits there and he keeps holding that angle. And Moose Hater on the bot side is just biding his time waiting. They end up finding the pick on the Jimmy because Keel's doing his job marking and Wixie fires the Astro, and that's AGT, this third dragon.
I love it. I'd actually love it if production... Yeah, let's go back one more time from the beginning here. And I just want to follow Moose Hater because he starts down. We don't even see him on the screen. It's in the, you know, the mini-map. He spotted Tenacity in the tri-bush. Now he's on Krug, so he's just maximizing his gold income. Now he goes back over to that way and then starts to wrap around here. At first, he's not even spotted, so he understands his job in this play.
Yeah, and Moose Hater especially, he's not looking for some sort of hero play. I'll one-shot the enemy Lulu or the enemy AD carry. He's just saying, I'll just hide in fog. They're going to have to respect me, and they're going to have to react to what I do. That's what 100 Thieves does. When they're constantly question mark pinging him on the bot side, but they all keep walking river. That's all due to the pressure that Moose Hater's doing. This is something that a lot of players don't understand, and it's great to see from Moose Hater, even though he's relatively new. I don't have to make a play. If I'm standing there, they have to respect that I'm standing there. And because of that, this play works out wonderfully for AGT. And there are other ways this play could go. Something I like to see from Tenacity, for example, is if he's stronger than Fiora, mark Fiora by herself. You know, Akali will sit on Fiora, say, okay, Fiora, you can't walk in past me because I'm stronger than you. You know, I have that CS lead, I have that level lead. And if Tenacity is holding Moose Hater out, then maybe 100 Thieves can get further down in the river. It can give Jimmy a better flank angle, and maybe this fight plays out differently. But with how Tenacity plays it, walking with his team, Fiora is just allowed to take space and make 100 Thieves respect her.
And a big part of that was Tenacity's initial decision to group up with the team rather than holding that flank. He groups up and he takes a Corki rocket here, I believe, at some point, which means that he's now, boom, there we go. A lot of damage down on Tenacity. He's no longer full health to go for that Fiora 1v1. At that point, you can tell next time he sees the Moose Hater here on the flank, he's like, no, I don't want that 1v1 anymore because now I'm down to, 70% health as opposed to the full health bar. And that's how AGT get the third dragon. Now, fourth dragon was even easier for them to get, but this was the impactful one because of what you had said even earlier going into the game, Julius. 100 Thieves Academy, this is now 3 games in a row that they just do not pay attention to these dragons. They're not concerned with stopping the early dragon stacks, and they're not getting necessarily the proper setup. This is a better look, though. I am happy that they at least seem to have a game plan going into this one, saying, look, we're in the river first. We're going to try and control the vision. It just came down to execution after that initial idea. So, improvement for 100 Thieves Academy. But at the end of the day, it is still Dragon Stacking, the name of the game for AGT. And it seems like a pretty good win condition. It's working out for them.
Yeah, and I think going into this 4th game, I like to see 100A not really put themselves on a timer, because when you give these dragons, you're saying like, okay, we'll be stronger by the 3rd Drake. Well, 100 Thieves, this is the first game they contested the 3rd Drake. Now they're saying we'll be stronger by the 4th dragon. If you saw in game 1, they picked a lot of scaling. They made it very easy on themselves. Like, we will just group up, we will ball comp, and we will win. And I think that's probably the easiest way for them to come back in the series, is making themselves have a bit of an easier time. Tenacity doesn't have to be, you know, playing flank or looking for flank. Same with Jimmy and just saying like, Warren, I'll stand in front. Victor, Aphelios, Jinx, stand behind me. We'll throw out damage. We'll win the 5v5 that way.
It worked in game number 1, where they were leading the series. With that said, let's bring back our casters, because pick and ban is right around the corner here. And with that said, I want to say Joshi Magical posed a question. Is it time to ban the Udyr along with all these other champions? Do you let something like the Draven or the Fiddlesticks through? So, Julius, I want to get your thoughts on that now that we have Joshi and Magical here, because that's what they last kind of closed out their discussion with.
Yeah, and I think both are pretty scary. I mean, the Fiddlesticks is something where if you let it through, okay, well, Fiddlesticks is, like Boozia said, clearing at 305. How do we react when he's at the Scuttle Crab way sooner than we're expecting? And the Draven, well, we've seen what a lot of the amateur teams have done with Draven to the Academy teams. They're finding massive gold leads, even if they're not closing out the games. And the Academy teams, I don't blame them. I mean, Draven is incredibly strong in lane and just incredibly strong champ right now. So it's a really difficult decision. If I'm 100 Thieves, I'm saying, okay, let's make Keel have to do something he's not as comfortable with. Let's not make his life, you know, Udyr, I'm clearing faster than you, I'm front laning for my team. We saw the Lillian in game 1, he wasn't as effective when he wasn't a tanky champ. It was easier to catch him out, it was harder for him to gank.
I want to get Magical's opinion on this next one, because if that means that it's a triple jungle ban, Wixie could get the Draven. We've been building up the Wixie versus BMFX matchup. BMFX replaced Wixie between spring and summer split. We heard Wixie in the interview saying, I don't think that was just. I don't think that was deserved. I think I am the better AD carry. Leaving up something like Draven for somebody that hungry for that, you know, to prove that point, that's dangerous.
I mean, the thing is, everything's really dangerous coming out of AOE Ginger Turmeric at the moment. You gotta fear the Carthage, you gotta fear the Draven, you gotta fear the Fiddlesticks, you gotta fear that Udyr pick. There's so many things that you can only ban 3 of them to begin with. Whatever one is left open, you better bet is going to be picked pretty early on. The only thing I could possibly think is that if we see a swapping of sides, maybe possibly from 100 Thieves Academy, put themselves in a position where they say, okay, you get one of those picks you really like, but we get one of the other picks we really like, such as Fiora.
That is an opportunity for them if they want to go for that red side, but we'll learn which side they opted for right now, because Pick and Ban is ready. Match point for AGT with the opportunity to be the only amateur team in the top 4, first ever to play at a Proving Grounds LAN. Magical, Joshi, take it away.
We've only ever had an amateur team in the top 4 one time. That was back when it first started off way back in 2021 spring season, where it was no org that took the crown, but that was not live. This is the potential to play live for a team, for a bunch of players that would love to show themselves on that stage and prove why they need to be picked up for the Academy season next year.
And Alex, as we start looking at this a little bit more, I think it's important to ask, is it time to drink the turmeric juice? And I can answer that fairly literally. Oh, yeah? I went to a farmer's market this last week, and they had some special drinks there. They had a small fermenting company, and it had turmeric soda. I'm going to hold on to this to see what their draft is looking like, because I still feel I agree with Julius. There's a lot of ways for 100 Thieves to come back in, but depending on what we see, it might be time to just drink all the Kool-Aid, go all in on AOE GT. And? What?
What did I say? What did I say?
You said a lot of things. The
Udyr has been banned, but not the Fiddlesticks. They have finally changed what they want to ban. And even seeing that the Victor picked first by the side of 100 Thieves, they're going back to what worked in game 1. But I expect something like this, Corki, to counteract that matchup.
Okay, the Corki is going to come in, right? This was the go-to matchup for every single team in spring, right? Everybody was playing the Victor into the Corki, and both these champions have had some nerfs to it, and this is a big gauntlet being thrown from Captain Shrimps. Most Victor players were not able to exert enough pressure in the lane to actually force this Corki to be in an uncomfortable position. And even now, with the changes that they've made to Corki, you have even more pressure when you go for things like the Hex Drinker. And so with the Corki Corki and the Ashe. A ton of range, a ton of poke is already coming out from the side of AGT. And oh my gosh, 100 Thieves, the Lucian Nami.
Lucian Nami. We know that it's Ashe, but we don't know if it's going to be support Ashe or if it's going to be Wixie back on the ADC. Either way, it is the race for level 2 in that bot lane. 100 Thieves Academy saying that they are going to dominate this time around.
With the way that we've been seeing Wixie and Duo King play thus far, they're playing Duo King on very heavily scaling champions, right? You've had the Senna, you've had the Sona thus far, and for the first time, he's not playing an Esna champion, he's playing Lulu instead. A little bit more reserved, a little bit more power early on in the game, but still, Ashe Lulu is going to have to play very careful going up against the Lucian Nami. This is a challenge. This is 100 Thieves putting a lot of faith in their newest player, in one of the newest players to the Academy scene in general. BMFX needs to step up now.
This is going to be his time to shine, to prove why he got this spot and replaced Wixie in the first place. Well, we got to keep hammering home. This is Wixie's redemption arc. Got dropped by 100 Thieves over the break from spring to summer. Played briefly to substitute in for Cloud9 at the very beginning of the split, but after that, back down to amateur. Here, it is his triumphant return to show that this guy is one of our best marksmen that we haven't gotten in the Academy split just yet. He got dropped for no reason if he's able to pick up this win.
And also, we have to remember that while Wixie has had a fantastic laning phase, 100 Thieves have been able to attack him quite effectively during the past couple of team fights. We're seeing what it is that AGT want to actually come through and actually pick up at this point. The Udyr is off the table, but the Fiddlesticks, like you called out, is available for AOE GT. But his mid lane doesn't have the same kind of prio to support him.
No. It's also really difficult to play Fiddlesticks into both Victor and Nami.
Yes.
That's also where we have to kind of look at playing into either of those, the ability to lock you down for quite some time, or even to cancel your ult. Nami used to be one of those classic counters towards how Fiddlesticks wanted to play, because you have to channel the ult, you have to go for that kind of play. But here, we are getting comfort, we are getting power early into the game for 100 Thieves. Will, this is going to be his 8th time just in the Proving Grounds alone playing Lee Sin.
It's been one of his most played champions, like you called out. He's played it so many times, and this is him going into a fairly comfortable matchup for the Lee Sin, but Tenacity blinding the Camille. It's not going to go over to Busio, despite all Twitter clips we have been seeing about him on this champion. But Camille doesn't necessarily have the strongest game early on into the lane. There's a lot of things that Moose Hater can play, and it's honestly not bad to play Garen into this matchup. So what do we see? Fairly standard champion coming out from Moose Hater, but it is his first time playing this so far in Proving Grounds, and feels as though AOE GT, they've built a strong bridge in the top side. Moose Hater and Keel should be strong enough to actually allow Ashe, Lulu, Corki to come online. And so with that, is it time to drink the turmeric juice? Are we all on board?
That's up to you. I mean,
I think I like their draft quite a bit. There's a lot of power coming out already, seeing AGT. The way that Julius was saying 400 Thieves, that they really... No, not quite the same thing. The way that AGT can scale into this game is going to be ridiculous. We already saw how well they were able to play around the package, how well they were actually able to play around everything that they were doing in these team fights. 100 Thieves giving over 3 consecutive dragons in every game that we see in this series.
Yes, and now we load up, we're getting ready for our 4th game, potentially the last one for 100 Thieves Academy. They could be denied their potential to play the replication match where they play up against the same team that they had fallen to in the finals of spring. While AGT, there's so much pressure on trying to bring this game, make sure they close it out and don't have to worry about silver scrapes.
We'll find out. AGT pushing it to the brink as we load into the 4th game of the day.
4th game of the day for our Proving Grounds powered by Verizon. AGT want to be the first amateur team to have a chance to play at the LAN against the rest of our 3 teams in the top 4 for Proving Grounds. While 100 Thieves backs up against the wall, it is do or die.
And we'll get to see. We will look for more opportunities at this point. AGT are going to be backing away at the very beginning, but Moose Hater's in a bit of an odd spot with all of 100 Thieves looping around.
He will spot him out, so he should be able to get away. Slice and dice over the wall. Pretty safe, but now he's leveling up his E, which, if I recall, isn't the best way to start off your lane against a Camille.
It's not the worst thing either, right? Renekton's level 1 and level 2 typically aren't very strong anyway. You always look for the level 3 wake up when you have your full trading pattern online. But AGT, they get a little bit of vision down. They will have a bit more idea on where it is that will be starting. And so, AGT, remember, they just need to not give over too much early on in the game, and Captain Shrimps going up against Jimian, Captain Shrimps has done quite a good job in multiple matchups actually taking down Jimian, and so this matchup has historically been all about how much pressure can Jimian put on Captain Shrimps. Can he force out flashes? Can he find these solo kills? Can he force Captain Shrimps to get the early Hex Drinker? And will Captain Shrimps be able to survive?
I think it's all going to come down to the bot lane for 100 Thieves as well as the jungler. Lucio and BM are a little bit late to the bot lane. They're not going to be able to fight for that level 2 experience lead. Will be Wixie and Duo King who gain control of the lane.
And that's rough for a Lucian Nami lane. That level 2 wake up is one of the biggest points of power that this lane often has. And when they don't get to get it first, it makes it so much more dangerous to actually go for the trade a little bit further on. But one of the core things that I do want to address right now, Magical, is the difference in the way that Keel has to be playing. You cannot play Jarvan as a farm and scale champion, right? You're not going to be useful in that regard. You need to try and make things happen. And so Keel, when he's done this, has often played the Xin Zhao. He's oftentimes put a lot of pressure on the top side of the map, but he's clearing from the top side to the bottom side, and that usually accompanies a level 3, level 4 dive to go down towards the bottom side, but the wave is crashing too early.
Crashing a bit too early. That is one of the problems, unfortunately, when you do get that level 2 experience lead over your opponents. If you're trying to set up for the level 4 dive, it's going to be a little bit off kilter in timing. But still, you'd rather have that than let the Lucian Nami lane get control. That would be even more devastating because they can exert so much pressure against Ashe Lulu early into the game.
And instead, Wixie and Duo King, they're the ones who crash it into the turret. As Lucian and Nami playing underneath their own structure is not where they usually want to be. And so Will, down the opposite side of the map, is going to look for something. He will be getting the top side trap. But again, if we just see 100 Thieves not have a whole lot of success early on, I like the Corki. The Corki is going to continue scaling, and there's not great ways for 100 Thieves to get on top of him. They have to just full send Tenacity all the way in order to try and find some of these plays, and there's a lot of tools behind the Corki to actually keep him alive. Duo King's still on the Lulu.
To me, pretty much you have to have an early game plan for 100 Thieves to win this game. Even if you have scaling options, Lucian, we've also seen transition from just being a lane bully to actually being very powerful on 3 items. But then you look on the other side, Corki, Ashe, they're going to be just as scary, if not even more so.
Yeah, good trade coming out from Moose Hater, but that is one thing that we do see coming out from the Lucian, right? The ability to just blow somebody up with the calling later is kind of ridiculous. But there are plenty of members on AGT who will be able to deal with that. Keel and Moose Hater can be relatively tanky. Oh, but they don't even get the electrocute proc.
No, unfortunately. Weren't able to get close enough to do a King for that proc. They had to fall back. But now we transition our attention to the top side. You talked about Keel focusing on the top side, looking for Tenacity. And how the hell can he even get out of that?
You can't. Very cleanly played coming out from AGT. Not even forced to use a flash, but Bubble.
Bubble into shield. That's going to be the electrocute proc that time around. So Duo King, Wixie, they are smart. They know that they had their jungler on the top half of the map making that play. Will nowhere in sight. They bail off completely. Moose Hater, you got to be a bit more careful. I know you're a level lead over Tenacity, but still, Camille does a good amount of damage.
We're also seeing the bridge come through already from the top side of the map. They know that they can dive the Camille, the easy stun into knockup, gets them the first kill, and as long as AGT are not falling behind super early on in the game, they will be able to play later. But Jimian's doing a good job yet again on this Vicar. It's been his most successful champion thus far in the series. He's pushing Captain Shrimps around quite a bit. He's expending a lot of mana, and Jarvan against the Manaless Victor will be able to go for a gank, and both of the mid laners will have to back away.
Yeah, and this is where I'd even say that Victor does have the priority over Corki, as most mages do against Corki before he really can wave clear efficiently, using the missiles at every point. So having Jimmy already TP back into lane, while Captain Shrimp does the same just to try to counteract the minions being taken, it is going to be Jimmy in favored for a little bit longer.
He's already got the lost chapter. He's escaping a lot of the times the Victor is supposed to be weak, but Moose Hater.
Moose Hater getting a lot of damage. Stops the hook shot away. Pop the ulti. He's got the damage. Tenacity cannot escape the Croc, but the Croc will fall to the turret.
The weird looking flash in the Spectator there is enough to take down Tenacity, and Moose Hater finds a solo kill in this lane. Again, finding more opportunities to bridge the gap, and with Will showing in the top side of the map, AGT feel confident to take the first dragon yet again.
Ooh, as we go back into the mid lane, Captain Shrimps not having the best time around this time against that Victor. Like you talked about, in game 1, Jimmy looked fantastic playing this champ against the Captain Shrimp's Gangplank, something that has been a champion he's gained a lot of notoriety on. And we look into a little bit of a skirmish into the bot lane. The effect is still going to be strong. You got to be careful with that. So the Valkyrie in, look at the damage on the effect, but the arrows are there. Keel will trade his life for the flash over the wall. Bubble connects onto Captain Shrimps. Ultimatum laid out. Wixie, no way out. Or is there? The flash was there to keep him alive. They've got the damage traded back onto Tenacity. And all the while, Moose Hater has not even joined in while Will booked the dragon.
A big play coming out from 100 Thieves, though. They've stopped the dragon stacking. The core plan for AGT has been disrupted a little bit. Tenacity just walks down. He wasn't ever up in the top side, and so we saw this earlier, right? We saw opportunities for AGT to do this to other players, but typically Keel was able to soak up the wave. This is a huge wave that Moose Hater is going to be denying from the side of Tenacity. There's a lot more experience getting picked up, and while Tenacity will be scaling quite well, we'll take another look at the solo kill from before, and you know, this is one of the big times where Renekton becomes very strong on the map. He just goes underneath and denies the assist to come out from Will. He ends up going down, but as Renekton, you gotta find the strength immediately.
And then we look at the replay just a couple of seconds ago. At first, I thought it was going to be completely devastating for AGT, but that damage Wixie's able to provide, I think, helps turn this fight so it's not nearly as devastating.
Yeah. And it looks good for a moment. They are able to get onto some of these backline members, but the damage just isn't there at this point. Camille isn't strong enough to actually get the kill all by themselves, and AGT are still able to kite it out. Duking able to rejoin them towards the end. AGT still with a small lead at this point in the game, but I do want to praise 100 Thieves at the very least for having a better plan on how to deal with the traditional way that AGT have played so far this series. Again, they've got the first 3 dragons in the first 3 games. AGT able to get Ocean Soul in 2 of them, and now AGT, they're gonna have to try and find something else to do.
It's their first time not getting the first dragon. And they also lose out on the Rift Herald that Will was able to take. He'll spotted out by Jimmy, and he's like, you know what, I feel like something's up there. Just getting control back toward the team. So 100 Thieves, even if they are down a kill, down a little bit of gold, they are definitely in a great position at the moment to keep battling back.
And again, one of the players that I've gotta praise at this point is Jimmy, and right, he is turning around a lot of the laning phases that he had earlier on. The Victor once again giving him some success.
Moose Hater looks for the play again onto Tenacity. Gets a lot of damage using that rampage like good with the Fury of the Sands, but unfortunately not enough damage this time around.
And Moose Hater going a little bit more aggressive than perhaps he needed to, but Tenacity loses a lot of HP, and so Moose Hater doesn't have the damage right now, just one-shot Tenacity, but it is kind of scary the way he's playing so far forward.
And he's also looking for that Blade of the Ruin King rush on Moose Hater as well. That's an interesting build path to see out of Renekton. We haven't seen that for quite some time. Usually it's the Gore Drinker to try to have more of the team fight capability, but really Moose Hater, he's looking to see if he can solo kill Tenacity many, many times.
Exactly. It's the kind of thing that we've been seeing Moose Hater do quite a bit. He did this on the Trundle as well, rushing the Blade of the Ruin King in order to have a bit more side lane pressure. It's not necessarily a building for the team fight. He's confident in his ability to do that anyway.
Yeah, and the fact that you have that Gore Drinker already completed by Keel, got a little bit more safety, so you can utilize this Jarvan as that engage tool as well. Something that's going to be pseudo tanky, or it will seem like he's not. It shouldn't be as tanky as he is, and then everyone's nearby him, and he's like, "Yep, zoink! I get all the health back."
So we'll see how effectively he's able to actually take a lot of these team fights. And the game, again, a little bit calmer than a lot of the games we've seen thus far, but now a 2v2 breaking out.
Oh, hookshot connects. Got the damage on the Moose Hater. That's going to be Will, but they notice skills there, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult. The Fury of the Sands is not up just yet for Moose Hater, so can't pop the dominance. But they're looking for the kick. They got the smite into the wall with the Sonic Wave connecting onto Moose Hater, so they can pick up the kill and heal. He's now in the ultimatum. There's no flag and drag away. You got to use the Cataclysm onto them, but you'll still die. Double kill for Will.
Clean play coming out of Will's Lee Sin. He's played this so many times in Proving Grounds, and he sees Keel miss the EQ, instantly goes for it, takes down Moose Hater, who didn't have the ultimate up. He used it in a previous trade. And if we take another look at this, this might be the first time where we're looking at Will looking for these big plays. He's on the Lee Sin. He knows he needs to do things before the Corki takes over the game. And Keel expected Will to go right away. And with no EQ, this driver doesn't have anything left to do. You can't stop the Sonic Wave. You can't stop the Resonating Strike. And with the amount of mobility that's left on the 100 Thieves top side, they easily find this double kill.
And getting it for Will, so he can now translate a lot of that lead elsewhere into the map, especially looking towards the bottom half of the map. He's put in the perfect position, even if it wasn't exactly as early of a play we wanted to see from Will. He's now put in this position of power against Keel for the first time we've really seen this entire series.
So, we'll see what Will is able to do with it. There's another dragon coming up, and AGT are not necessarily strong enough to actually go for this. And Will already in position around the Dragon, 100 Thieves turning around a lot of the gameplay that AGT have had thus far. But AGT, they're still challenging the Dragon right away.
Now the thing is, BMFX is still pathing himself back towards this pit. Should be able to arrive in time. Captain Shrimps, I thought he would look for the recall, but he's already got the package in his inventory, so it will be difficult for AOE Ginger Tumor to just let this go without a fight. They need to utilize that package timer with this bubble connecting, looking for the fight. It goes over to Keel as still with the package. That's going to be Captain Shrimps diving in. The arrow, it went wide, but it didn't need to connect. They got the damage. The flashes away. Glitterize. They ignite. Burns Will down. With Jimmy and now trying to create a lot of distance for the team. But these missiles keep connecting. The follow-up, they have it. That's going to be a flag and drag, but not enough for the stun, so they have to relent. But they'll take both an objective and a kill.
That's typically been the way 100 Thieves have taken these fights. They come in a little bit late, and they still force it down anyway. But Moose Hater's still going for a fight.
Looking for it, but this time around, he's got his own ult. So there it is, pops that. Looks for the trade onto Tenacity, but Tenacity is smart. He's just booking it completely out of there. Probably gonna sacrifice a couple plates top two.
So Moose Hater is finding a small advantage in AGT. They pick up the Dragon, they find the fight. The only problem that they had is now with the package used a little bit late, it's not going to set them up for the same success around the next Dragon. They'll have to stall it out the next time they come through. And so, as we take a look, the bridge has largely been gapped for AGT. The gap has been bridged. And the big thing as we take a look at this is BMFX and Busio so far forward instantly get jumped on. There's not a way for them to escape from the Cataclysm. They just have to use all these flashes even to get themselves out, and there's so much chase down potential from Duo King, right? He's continually slowing the members of 100 Thieves on their exit.
The glitter lances that he kept connecting as well were absolutely beautiful to set up players like Wixie, like Captain Shrimps to turn that fight around, where at first seemed like it could have been dire, but Captain Shrimps was right on the call to dive in forward and make sure that they made mincemeat of 100 Thieves.
So, AGT, they've already gotten Captain Shrimps to level 10. He's already gotten the Manamune largely stacking up. He's getting ready to build out that Hex Trigger as well to give him a little bit more survivability in the upcoming plays. But Jimmy has done a good job actually making sure that Captain Shrimps can't farm effectively. Jimmy on this Victor is showcasing why a lot of people like opting into the Victor side of this matchup historically. Captain Shrimps still looking to try and find his way in. He still needs a bit more support from Keel, from Duo King, from Moose Hater in the upcoming fights. But the way that Captain Shrimps has been playing, I remember going back to the way he used to play on Cloud9 Amateur, where he was playing Xerath almost every single game. We weren't necessarily seeing him be one of the major carry roles for the team. It was mostly Wixie that we were really looking to actually carry this squad. But the way that Captain Shrimps has played this series kind of gives us a little bit of insight into why so many players were excited about him in his early career.
Plus, seeing Wixie on Ashe for a second time in a row, we saw last game. He was put more on the facilitative role, more trying to set up the team. If he died, he was more of a worthy sacrifice to set up Captain Shrimps on this Corki. And the last time, he was perfect on those package uses. This time, was a little off on the timer, but they secured the dragon itself. They equated each one a piece, and with a mountain soul on the line for both teams, you better bet there's going to be a lot of priority from both teams.
Well, it's actually a Hex Tech Soul. We do have the gates.
Oh, it's Hex
Tech. You're getting trolled a little bit by Riot Games there.
I got trolled again! Wasn't looking at the map. I totally knew because I saw them use the Hex Gate to get to the Rift Herald too and take that for kill.
But now, take a look at this. We already see 100 Thieves lining up. Chaos Storm just used
with the Gale Force, but that's going to be the Changes Crystal Arrow connecting with Will going way too deep. His team was not ready for that. TP is there. Captain Shrimp will arrive, and he dies. Whoa! He flashed for it. BMFX is gone. Captain Shrimp says, well, 1-for-1 at the moment. But keep in mind, there's been no crocodile here. He's swimming down the river, looking to see if they can make the play with the Cataclysm coming in. They've got the damage. Tenacity tries to get out of there. They got the kill on a Keel, but it's the Gator who jumps down on 100 Thieves, chasing down Busio. Will finally falls, and even if Busio lives this time around, AGT finds the plays.
Crazy fight coming through from both sides, as we just see BMFX, he's stepping up, but again ends up going down, only finds an assist in this play. 100 Thieves commit so many resources in order to try and find this mid lane turret, and they almost get Duo King and Wixie to go down, but the perfect arrow comes out from Wixie, a huge dive out from Will, and it's just too much. They're trying to buy off more than they can chew, and BMFX ends up getting blown up on the front side of this fight. And then after that, as you called out, it's just Renekton coming in from the side. And even though they try and leave on 100 Thieves, the slows come through, the Cataclysm is there. The chase down from AGT is so strong as Moose Hater flashes in. No Stride Breaker this time to get so many extra kills, but he's able to chase off the rest of the members and leave Will to die.
Right, make sure they can get the smite off of the board. They got themselves great positioning for the rest of the team. Even if most of the kills were spread across the board, you didn't get all of them onto Wixie. That would really help bridge this mid game for AGT. They've got the pressure, they've got the control. They pop down Rift Herald, and they will take their second dragon.
Captain Shrimp's chilling out here as well. They are in time here for this dragon, and they also have the package. We're going back to tried and true coming through for AGT. Again, using it. I'm loving the way that he's been checking all the boxes for this character.
Understands how to play it very well. It's always good to see. With the second dragon secured by AGT, looks like even if the first dragon wasn't taken by them, they still hold firm control over gathering up those dragons and trying to force the hand of 100 Thieves, which begs the question, with their backs against the wall, what do 100 Thieves fall back onto themselves to make sure they can get us to Silver Scrapes?
They got to get there first, Magical. They got to get to the dragons right away. They have Jimmy who can create a lot of space for their team. And as Sun Tzu said, you can't walk through a gravity well, man. The Chaos Storm is going to do too much damage, and they jump on him.
Oh, no! Jimmy, well, gravity well's put down. Same with the Chaos Storm, but that damage from Keel, the arrow did not connect, but he didn't need it because Duo King took the kill.
Very funny play to see Jimmy just sitting around, but Keel just knows he has the damage to take the 1v1. Jimmy only on an item and a half, and AGT going to use that to pick up a mid lane turret. It feels like they've done a fantastic job getting to the other side, and now BMFX and Busio on this Lucian Nami, they're past their prime relevancy for a little while. They have the rapid fire cannon coming through, and so they're just waiting to look for these opportunities to one-shot a single person. But when we always look at poke battles, when we always look at the ability to play at range, you got to be more worried about Captain Shrimps with these big ones raining down 100 Thieves. They've been in this situation before. Again, feels like more deja vu of the previous game.
It feels like we're having the same thing from the third game. There we go. I can count. With the third game happening, 200 Thieves here, but unlike last time, they had that wiggle room. This is looking reminiscent to what we saw in the first series. Even if it was only a best of 3, backs are up against the wall. 100 Thieves don't have much wiggle room that they can utilize anymore unless they're just planning on trying to outscale their competition.
So it's the top side then that has to find that little bit of wiggle room in order to make it happen.
Whoa!
We've been... What?
Look at Moose Hunter. Oh, Moose Hunter. Moose Hater. I keep saying that.
It's okay. Oh, yeah, the Prowler's Claw? Yeah, this build is sick.
Claw.
I'm a little bit surprised that you don't know, or are a bit more surprised about this, because this has been starting to take over for a lot of Renekton players in terms of your ability to just one-shot some of the squishy backlines. You can actually just kill people in single rotations with this style, but I don't know if you can kill 2 people, and so he wisely ends up backing away. But we gotta look towards the top side of 100 Thieves, and this was a lot of the story of the way that they were playing. Tenacity doesn't have a lead on this Camille, but the character scales so well. It's already got the Divine Sunder. It's building towards a Ravenous Hydra to start creating pressure in the sides of the map, and you can use that to find these off angles, find these flanks into the back line. He and Will need to dive together. They need to show some synergy to actually take down Captain Shrimps and Wixie. We saw in the previous games, Jimmy and Tenacity weren't able to dive at the same time. Will and Tenacity need to fix that issue.
Especially when you have to deal with Moose Hater and his ability to dive with Keel. Like you talked about, it is a good burst build for Moose Hater, but it's all going to be around how he plays either in the side lanes or groups up and flanks with Keel. Make sure that BMFX got the 2 items completed, but it's 0-3 will continue to have a downward spiral. Oh, Keel. No. I don't think it's going to be fully, even though the Cataclysm was used, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Keel just completely engaged, now has to get the charge away with Moose Hater going to the back line. Use that Paralyze Call, but it wasn't enough now. Calling, trying to create distance as Moose Hater is taken down by Jimmy.
Yeah, AGT making the same mistakes we saw from 100 Thieves, going a little bit too far. And guess what? We're after the time when the Baron has spawned. All of the health bars from AGT are so low, but they can still check it. They still have the tools and tenacity on a flank.
Oh, and this could be their way to get back into the game where they're in a deficit a little bit still. They have to
what?
No, Keel! Keel, you didn't want to go for that gate. He has to flag and drag away just to be able to survive.
Alright, well, he ends up being okay. Only 2 flashes expended coming out. Keel very close. He saw his live flash before his eyes as he goes in. But 100 Thieves, they have a little bit more control. Even down gold, they're still able to find some of these angles. But, Alex, 30 seconds left. The next team fight is going to be starting fairly soon. And we still have opportunities for Shrimps to go pick up that package. He's been so good at checking out all the boxes.
He hasn't gotten it just yet. Doesn't have TP though. He used TP to get into a position where they thought there was going to be a play set up by 100 Thieves, so now he's got to go back. At 100 Thieves, they call it. They say, hey, he used TP. Why don't we just go for the Baron take?
Okay, 100 Thieves going for it. Will Wixie be able to check it in time? He doesn't have the blue trinket, but he has the arrow. He probably has a hot shot as well. I don't think they know.
They have no idea. They're completely caught off guard. They're so focused on taking the dragon. They have no idea it's being stuck away. Now Keel showing up, but way too late. 100 Thieves, they make the play work and pull off a miracle.
And so 100 Thieves, they make a trade. They don't go for the 4th dragon, the 3rd dragon for AGT. They back away, and so AGT should be able to pick up this next dragon, put themselves 1 away from the Hextech Soul. But with the Baron, there's a huge opportunity now for 100 Thieves to recover a lot of the gold that they've been missing out on. They take it off the table, which was that next thing that AGT wanted to play around. And 100 Thieves, it feels as though they get so many more objectives when players are dead. But realistically, it's when they feel as though they are pressured. They will go for things that they don't expect their opponents to really expect. They will take objectives they don't think their opponents are defending. And while Hawkshot spots out 100 Thieves here, the amount of pressure they're going to put on right now needs to be enough to override the fact that they are struggling to find these engages.
This is where things will be a bit difficult for AGT. When you have something like Victor with a Baron buff on top of him, plus 4 and 1 with 2 items completed, those minion waves are going to be cleared out very fast. And Jimmy, he's already putting that pressure into this tier 2 in the top lane. Looking to see if he can whittle it out slowly but surely while the rest of his team is ready in case the dive happens.
And everybody's here, right? The dive is so difficult to go for with all the members of AGT grouped up. Even with the Baron buff, there's still a lot of wave clear between the Corki and the Ashe. And 100 Thieves, they're hoping members of AGT come to check them. They're hoping that Jimmy, looking all alone, all by himself, is going to be enticing enough for AGT.
What did you say? The submissive and diveable? Or it might just be that case, because right now they pull the trigger on to Tenacity. He's taken very low. He will be forced out of the fight completely. They still were able to topple that structure in the top lane.
Ice Cream's not enough to entice them to come into this one either, Magical, as we continue to see opportunities. 400 Thieves to try and create pressure across the map. Tenacity teleporting down towards the bottom lane. But as they start pushing in towards the middle, AGT forced out towards the bottom side of the map. And Tenacity, he got jumped on not that long ago, but that was a lot of resources being expended by AGT. It's hard for them to do it again.
He's also TP'd back into the play. The Baron buff still there for only a little bit longer for 100 Thieves to utilize. They would love to take this last outer structure that remains, but one in the bot lane. Continue to get more gold as even Tenacity feels like he is powerful against Moose Hater. He's got the damage, and sure enough, he was able to sweep him down.
There they go, great play coming through, extending the power of their Baron for an extra wave, and now AGT, they have to try and defend this structure. This has to be an opportunity for 100 Thieves to go deep.
Look where Keel and Captain Shrimps are. They're nowhere in position to be able to help out this. So the inhibitor turret falls, inhibitor as well taken by 100 Thieves. They consistently are out-rotating AGT in this game 4.
They're scrapping over and over. That's 3 turrets getting picked up outside the base. The inhibitor and inhibitor turret go down. 100 Thieves find themselves with a gold lead for the first time in what must be 15 minutes. And now 100 Thieves, they have a point of pressure to play with, right? They know that with the dragon spawning a little bit before the Baron, they are going to have to push this out. They have to make sure that they create space to actually fight it. This is where we start looking towards their younger player. This is where we start looking at Busio, who has been such an instrumental voice and corralling all the members to actually get onto the map in time.
There's going to be a lot of pressure onto these young, talented kids over at 100 Thieves. They're 1 game away from losing and getting knocked out by an amateur team. Not a fate that many have suffered. We've also seen that AGT have been a team unlike any other amateur team, battling back in many great ways against the Academy squad.
100 Thieves, they know as well, even if they win, they're going up against Team Liquid, the fated opponents is what it has been felt like, right? They've played so many best of 5s against each other over the past 2 years, and Keel going to be sneaking his way out, not going to get caught by anybody, just hiding in a small pocket of fog of war. AGT, they have to fight around this next dragon. They have to be prepared to flip for it. If 100 Thieves are there first, Jimian can be one of the big difference makers in terms of trying to keep himself safe. But it's Tenacity and Will who need to work together in order to attack Captain Shrimps and Wixie.
This is where I look at the space-making tools each side has. Jimian versus Captain Shrimps. There's a lot of good poke that Captain Shrimps can do with Corki. You have to always be careful because that gravity well is going to be imperative, especially in these corridors. Try to see if they can catch AGT out of position.
You already see it, right? We're looking at the Goon squad coming out from 100 Thieves earlier on in the series. They continue to do it. They are grouping up to try and catch Captain Shrimps and prevent him from actually clearing out some of these waves. He's still only level 15, will not get 16 before the next dragon spawns. So, 100 Thieves, they're creating pressure in the mid lane, they're creating pressure in the bottom lane, they're denying vision coming up from AGT, but there's a crucial teleport ward that Moose Hater can try and take, that Captain Shrimps can try and take to actually contest this Hextech Soul.
They're all there. Nasty looked for the play initially. They're getting a little bit of damage on the Duo King. They're going to bounce around the croc. He has to use the damage just to stay alive. As Keel had to flag and drag away from the gravity well. Captain Shrimps wasn't a part of that fight the entire time. He had to pick up the package. Now he's running down mid lane. They see that the pings are there. 100 Thieves are booking it to make sure there is not going to be a Hextech Soul this game.
And the Hawkshot means that they see 100 Thieves all over the map. The teleport ward still available for AGT.
Yeah, it is, but look at Tenacity. He's got his own flank ready to go. Try to see if AGT will call the bluff and continue to push as super minis are pouring in from the bot lane, having to be answered by Moose Hater. Tenacity, he's got Guardian's Angel. There are ways 100 Thieves can win this fight. Not going to connect the Enchanted Crystal Arrow and AGT. This is where it's do or die. TP in, but it might be too late. BMFX, he flashed, but he dies. He's burned by the package. Will as well. He has to go golden with Duo King. How is the backline barely even alive out of AGT? They're not. That's because Tenacity is running train over them all, taking them all down. But Captain Shrimps, Moose Hater, they're doing some work themselves. They're making sure they look for Tenacity. Hookshot's not there because the stun out of Moose Hater made sure he had no escape.
But this is where Will can be a hero for his team. AGT threatening to pick this up. The Blade of the Rune King will allow him to do the damage, and Will has the smite. Captain Shrimps is looking for him, but he's on the wrong side.
Wrong side, but about to have Dominus up again for Moose Hater. Will be the dragon stopped for now. with the Shadow Wave coming out. That's going to be the pop of the ult. Here's a Tidal Wave in, trying to get the bubble on to Corki. It worked out well, but now Moose Hater, he's on the hunt. Crocodile against a fish. He wants to eat him, but he just can't get in range.
And so we're going to get round 2, Alex. Everybody has respawned. Keel is coming back up. Tenacity has the teleport available. AGT not able to secure the Dragon Soul, and so both teams are going to line back up, but this time AGT, they don't have the package. But BMFX, he flashed forward to try and make that happen, but he's got the calling. Oh, they're teleporting to the base!
Yeah. Tenacity's just going for the back door. Why not? Keep him here. If you can keep him out of the base, it's going to work out well. That's a lot of damage on the Captain Shrimps, but he has to make it back on his team with Wilk getting the kick on a Keel. Keel will fall! BMFX takes him out all the while. Tenacity is still in the base, trying to see if he can win the game. He's taking one turn. Moose Hater can't do anything to him. They're just fighting over this turn, over control, with minions pouring in, looking for the fight around the dragon. There's still the dragon there. It's got to be fought over. Jimmy taking a lot of damage. Gets Captain Shrimps to go golden to turn. Still somehow alive. Wixie dives in. They get a pick, but Wixie dies as well. 100 Thieves pull off the miracle. They find the plays. They find the kills. And this series ain't over yet.
And this is going to be going to Game 5. 100 Thieves have everybody but BMFX still standing, and they just keep getting away with it, Magical. They find the handshake at the very end. They go for a crazy fight. It was a double-decker fight yet again, and now it's nasty on Moose Hater.
Moose Hater is done for. He is going to be made into a beautiful purse. Even if Keel is there to try to save his own life, they just bounce him around, rip him apart. Keel, the guys who try to help out, you don't help out a dead friend like that, because they are just going to kill you for the double kill. And guess what? We're getting ready for Silver Scrapes, baby. This game, this series continues with both teams fighting valiantly for the final spot in the top 4.
An absolutely crazy game takes us to Game 5, Alex. The way that 100 Thieves disrupted the plans of AGT. No Fiddlesticks comes through. It's the Jarvan. AGT try and go for something different, and 100 Thieves are able to beat them with it. The victor coming in for Jimmy, and yet again staying alive throughout all of these team fights. 100 Thieves repeat the success of the first game, and now we actually get to see the final conclusion between these two teams. The repeat. Can AGT knock 100 Thieves out 2 times in Proving Grounds?
Well, with the Game 5 now here, we don't know. We've never ventured down this territory. We saw in the past what had happened. Almost the exact same thing happened in this series, with first game by 100 Thieves, next 2 by AOE Ginger Turmeric, but now Game 4, tie it up. 100 Thieves Academy, such a scrappy team, fighting back in that one, and probably one of the best ways possible to continue the series with an attempted backdoor, while the rest of the team wins out the fight around Dragon.
And we'll get to see a little bit more of it, right? Captain Shrimps pushed around too much. Jimmy and stepping back up, and this mid lane has become way more crucial than I think anybody expected.
Yeah, it has, but we are going to toss to a break, and while we do so, we have a lovely game with our colorcaster, Smacks, so make sure you listen and stay tuned.
Max here. We've got 3 of the finest junglers in North America. We got Winston Winnie from AOE Esports. We got Keel from AOE Ginger Turmeric, and Tomio all the way in LA for Evil Geniuses Academy. We've got all 3 of you guys here today because we've got a bit of a friendly competition here. We're going to be trying to see which one of you can clear the jungle the fastest on some off-meta champions that I took from a panel of judges to see which the best champions that we could possibly play here today would be.
When I had like naughty teammates on my teammates, I'd punish them. I'll play Draven. But I would still like try to win.
How does Draven jungle work?
So you can do red to blue, and you can hold both your axes if you time it properly, like from crossing the red to blue. And I'll do that, and like if they're there, I'd like kill them.
You can hold your axes red to blue.
Yeah, if you time it.
Wow, that's crazy.
Ah, I'm
Okay,
done.
well, you can. No. Wait, I never ghosted. Wait, it doesn't make a difference.
Oh my god, I didn't ghost either. Yeah, I'm done.
We can also just call that the practice round and then do other champions. Let's do that then. All right, the game begins now. I'm seeing a bit of a variation here, Keel. What's the usage of the heal gonna be for you?
Same as last time. Oh
Is more absolute focus?
Yeah, I mean. I didn't even use my ghost, so I'll just go heal, yeah.
Alright.
Oh, here we go.
We've got another pretty big difference here at level 1, everybody. I'm noticing that Keel's got supercharge, which is the E. And
oh, I'm trolling. I went refill pots again. I think it's fine this time though.
Are you guys on your red buff?
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe not.
Not looking too hot though.
This is coming down to the wire. We're getting real close.
Ah, done.
He's
It was
too
close,
good.
Max. I don't know. It was very close.
I finished at
was
344,
really close.
345.
Yeah, it was like 333, 34, 35. Or 44.
It was Keel just barely ahead of Tomio.
Oh my gosh. I'm a griefer.
You didn't record?
I didn't record.
I think I played it versus Winston as scouting grounds.
Yeah?
There was
Orange
someone
jungle?
Yeah, I played it.
I don't remember. Maybe.
Really?
In a really long time.
I played it one game.
I
and
remember.
it was
I remember it was
never
like
again.
kind of meta though.
I lost pretty badly, yeah.
Were you guys using a skin?
No skin.
Yeah.
You guys all have
That
different
what you
skins.
want.
Yeah, nice. You keep
I mean, now the red is a good one.
Oh, I messed up. I
What'd
bought
you do?
refillable.
I think, honestly, I don't think it'll matter as much.
You're pretty healthy on this
for
jump,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it actually looks like all three of you guys might be starting on different camps this time.
Wow.
Okay, I was wrong. We've got 2 red starters and a blue. We'll see if it pays off. This is the first red start that we've seen. As a reminder, you do have to kill every single one of the little Krugs. So you can't, if one of
Can't
them
just run away
is
from
releasing
them.
away, and it
You're
wants
cheating.
back,
Alright,
you gotta
good
go back
reminder.
for it.
I'm gonna craft the long turret real quick to get ahead.
Do the extra AD.
You should do it, Tomio. That'd be very good.
I messed up.
I think I have this one, honestly.
Done.
Oh!
No!
I messed up.
I finished.
I finished at
Okay.
322.
322? I might be
messed
close. Wait, how did I?
16.
Huh? Wait, and you started red?
Yeah.
Yeah, he started red.
Oh, actually.
There's AOE. You know?
Wait, what was your time?
Yeah. Mine was like 322, 323. Okay. This is about to be demonic.
So I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty important to drop the turrets so that you have the cooldowns going. I
Yeah.
think.
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm not really sure.
I might mess
Yeah,
up.
it'll recharge. Like as long as you have one down, it'll recharge.
Alright. This will either win or lose me the clear, we'll see.
I'm about to see what's
Yeah,
gonna
it
happen.
goes.
6 seconds to Doomsday.
Oh god.
Oh, I blundered, but it's like not the worst.
I'm actually smurfing it.
Are you?
Okay.
You done 2 camps?
Yeah.
Oh, it's GG.
Wait, should I go E on Heimer? No way.
It's definitely E second, I think.
E second, no
Oh,
way.
Tomio's
Really?
going faster than you guys, and he didn't take E.
W's so useless.
No, it doesn't mean
Alright,
anything
right.
though.
All right.
E doesn't do anything.
Oh.
I'm done.
I'm done.
I paused late, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that Keel won again.
Did he win?
Like 339 or 40, I don't know.
Oh, 339, 340. That's too fast.
Not bad. 355.
355, not bad. Wait,
It's healthy though, it's healthy.
Did you start
I
red buff?
Yeah, no, I started blue. Back to Trundle Puppy.
Congratulations to Keel. You won all the rounds, even the practice one. So you're
Thanks.
definitely the winner of this
He just
game.
wins everything.
I guess
too
so.
good.
Yeah. Give us your
Victory
victory
speech.
speech. Yes, please do.
I don't know, there's no speech, I just, I like playing random champs, yeah. That's all I gotta say.
Nah,
what's
this guy's
your
too
guys-
troll. Cut the clip. Cut the clip. This guy's too troll.